checking in. Alright, hey guys. Intro music. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a great day. This is, as you can see, like, different scenario we're in. I've been wanting to do, like, a sit-down video, like, ever since I kind of started this channel. But my vibe's been a bit more, like, serious, like, poetry videos, which is, like, fine. But, like, this is something I've wanted to do, but I've been a bit nervous and procrastinating. I asked myself, okay, like, what's something I can just, like, go off about without, like, it being, like, too, like, driven on facts? And for me, that's TV. And in particular, that is cartoons. Like, generally anime, but also just, like, plain old, like, early 2000s cartoons is the sweet spot for me. So, yeah, I thought I would do, like, maybe start off a mini series, but kind of, like, see how this goes. I'm not, like, super comfortable in front of the camera and just talking. It's kind of, like, strange. Sorry, I wanted to check if I was recording. So, yeah, this is my mic, because I don't know how the camera mic's going on. But yeah, so let's get into it. I'm living for it. You're living for it. The show I want to talk about is, of course, The Weekenders. And this is a show that, like, I've brought up to my friends, but they claim they haven't heard about it, which is, like, so bizarre to me. I'm surprised that not many people have actually, like, heard about it or at least talked about it. So yeah, that's what I want to start out with, because it's a show that I really like and a show that I feel like more people should know about. So yeah, here we go. I just have notes on my computer, so that's why I'm looking to the side. But yeah, just so you guys who haven't seen it kind of know the background. So, like, the summary is, it's basically, like, for, like, tween age kids that just hang out on the weekends. So there's Tino, who's kind of like the main character. We get most of the story through his eye. We also have Carver, who's kind of like on the side of self-absorbed, but not like really, like, he learns his lessons, but also he's kind of just like the stylish guy of the group. So we also have Laura, who is kind of like, I guess, the tomboy of the group. She has, like, a lot of brothers, and she's just, like, chill, pretty chill, actually. And then we have Tish Katsufrakis, and she is, I guess, the nerd of the group. She's the one that is very studious and very, I guess, like, high-strung. So, yeah. So those are our 4 characters, and so yeah, each episode is kind of like, there is a main focus, and each episode we have them go through the weekend, so starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then during the show, like, tell you which day it is, which I really like. And it's, yeah, just a group of kids living in this, I guess, like, medium-sized town, and yeah, they're just hanging out, being friends, living their lives. So let's get into why I like this show. Let's get into why I like this show. Oh my gosh. Let's get into why I like this show so much. Wow. Okay. My point number 1 is that it has a solid point and solid setting. I think plots like this are really fun because the writers have a lot to play with. It's broad enough that, like, obviously anything can happen in the weekend, but where it is and how it's set, it's almost like they're constrained to a place, but it doesn't feel like they're actually stuck where they are, if that makes sense. And I think they do a really good of set building and world building. They kind of do what like Drake and Josh and that kind of Nickelodeon shows do with like having their own brand. So they have things like Chugga-Freeze and Bethesda Park, I believe is the name. So they have these places that are unique to their world, but it's like something you can relate to and something that I would have liked to go to as a kid, like if their world existed. So I think that's a really good way of like building a world, but it being in this like constrained space, but it also doesn't feel small. Like Steven Universe does this too. They're in this one little beach town, but they have so many adventures that each episode, even though it's like the same main setting, doesn't feel the same. So Weekenders is the same. Like one day they might be at the arcade, one day they might be like at the pizza place or the park. So we're exploring new venues, but it's just in this one setting and in this one town. You can play around with it a lot, and it's something that seems so obvious and mundane, but it's a concept that like stood out to me in other shows. Like other shows did have kids and teens that like were just kind of hanging out, like Pepper Ann and stuff, but from what I remember about things like that, it was like heavily based around the school aspect of things rather than what they do on the weekends and stuff, or it was a mix of both. So it was interesting that this was just strictly like the weekends. The main reason why I love this show till this day is the tone and specifically the humor. Like this show is such like a good representation of sarcasm. Almost like all four of the main characters have this like great relationship with sarcasm, and I think that's what makes the group dynamic like so funny and so like comfortable. For me, I think when you can be sarcastic around your friends, it's when you know like you're really comfortable with them. That's just something I've realized throughout my own friend groups. So it was really cool to see something like that at like my age. I don't even remember how old I was specifically. I want to say like 8 or 7. So I would laugh at like the jokes because they were funny, and they would have like more slapstick jokes like people falling or like getting hurt, just like cartoon type jokes. But they also had this line of sarcasm that extended like throughout the show, and it wasn't just the main characters. Like the parents, some of the adults were also like sarcastic and not necessarily like treating these kids like they were like super young. So it was kind of cool to see as a kid. I didn't really register and appreciate that when I was younger, but whenever I try to like rewatch an episode, it's the sarcasm that really like hooks me in now. So, cause yeah, I feel like sarcasm is kind of ageless in the sense of humor. So, okay, so my next point is the main character and how the show has their main characters and how they act in the show, basically. So, like I said, Tino's the main guy that usually has the intro and the wrap up for each episode. But what I really like about this show is that it takes time to explore the other main characters. They're not just like supporting main characters, they actually have their time to be the narrator. So, like, for example, there's an episode where Tish is kind of like the main character, and she narrates the episode. It's really refreshing to see that too, because then if you're not in love with like Tino as a character, then you have these breaks where, okay, you can have someone else's voice kind of run the episode. It's gonna bring up an example. So like an example of like how like the narrator works, I would say it's kind of like Teen Titans, how like a lot of it, or at least personally, I would see it like mostly it's through kind of the eyes of Robin, but it's not like strictly like you're seeing it through his perspective, but his like character is mainly the one that takes the forefront of these stories. But every so often we get like a story about Starfire and her like evil sister, or like Cyborg and his backstory, or Beast Boy and his backstory, and then we have like a whole like trilogy of Raven and her story. So it's kind of like that, where it's about the group, but kind of one character has the forefront, and then every so often we get like these focused episodes. So yeah, that's the main character. So on to Tino and his mom. So their dynamic is something that like I really loved. Tino's mom is a single mom at like the point we are introduced to her. So yeah, it's just Tino and his mom through the show. So we really also get to know like the relationship between him and his mom, and I just love how she kind of plays on the sarcasm, and she's kind of like very lax. At the time, I didn't really have anything to compare it to. I think the dynamic was really cool. It was also like something that I was very like unfamiliar with, so I don't know personally if like it was an accurate representation, but I just like recognized how positive like their relationship was, and I really appreciated that as a kid. So yeah. Another point was their running gags. I think this also added to the personality of the show as a whole, on top of their sarcasm, and I think this also had to do with like how good the world building was. But they would have kind of like these running gags. For example, like one of the places that they would often go to is this like pizza place. I forgot what the pizza place is called, but every time they went, the pizza place had a new theme. I just thought it was really funny and clever, because it's something that would be a really cool concept, but probably very impractical in the real world. But it was really cool to like see it in a cartoon, and especially like sometimes the pizza place would line up with the overall plot of the show. There's another gag that's like between Tino's mom and Tino. Like Tino's mom is always trying these like unique recipes, and like Tino always makes like some witty comment about it, and I thought that was like fun as well. There's always this girl named Chloe Montez that they bring up. But now to the section of I have no idea what to categorize this as. So here are my other points. Well, one random point is that it was like two like 11-ish minute episodes instead of like one 30-minute episode, which is something I really enjoyed as a kid, because I felt like I was hacking the system, because I got to watch like 2 episodes in one time slot, I guess. So there's like 2 different plots. I remember there's also like other settings. There's like the arcade place, and I remember there was one time they ran into this volunteer lady, and she was doing virtual knitting. As someone who knits myself, I was very excited to see that. So, just like quirky things like that, they would have in the show, and I would find them very funny, apparently. Yeah. Hey guys, my camera ran out of space, which is fine because I was at the end anyways. I think I was just saying, like, I was just wrapping things up actually. But, yeah, thanks for bearing with me and, like, staying through this video. It was just something I wanted to try and experiment on. It's something I've been interested in doing, so why not try it, I guess. Maybe next time I'll do like a more mainstream show, like a originally I wanted to do like Avatar, but I feel like everyone's talking about it. Like, I watched it as a kid, but I feel like I just need to give it space for like people to talk it out, and then I'll come back to that. So yeah, I don't know how to transition into this, but like I'm also gonna be putting links in the bio on ways to like help with the different situations that are happening on with the world. I know like I've been stuck in my house for a while. I feel like pretty helpless, but I know, okay, no, helpless, but I know that I can do things from the comfort of my home, basically. So yeah, links will be in the bio description. And yeah, that's about it for me. I hope you have a great evening, morning, what have you, time of day. Bye. Woo. Ah, my voice keeps cracking. Okay. Ooh. Okay. It's thunder. I keep clicking the button and then I'm not sure if it's... Okay, it's still recording. It's still recording. I don't know how people hold like their cameras up for so long. I think I just hurt my shoulder too, but this is kind of... It hurts, man. Anyways, bye.